Este es el Museo de los Bomberos de la ciudad de Long Beach. Todos los artefactos antiguos que usaban.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm Chan.
My name is Alfonso.
Alfonso?
Nice to meet you. Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Antonio.
Hi, Antonio. Nice to meet you, Antonio.
How did you find us?
On the website.
On the website?
I live around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you open this museum. But
Yeah.
I check on the website.
Good. Well, we're open every Wednesday morning until noon, and then the second Saturday from 10 until 3. So I'm glad you found us.
Thank
Good.
you.
Um,
Sometimes I see the cars on the street.
Yeah.
Walking on the street. That's why I know.
And the fire truck that usually is here is off at an event today.
Oh, okay.
Could we give you a little tour?
Sure.
And yeah, love it when people take pictures.
I thank you, video.
Yeah, video.
Yeah.
And this is Tom Alfonso.
Nice to meet you, Tom. How are you, sir?
Have you got your cell phone?
Excuse
Do
me?
you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Here's one of the early cell phones right here.
Which one? Oh,
That's one of the first ones, which weighs 9 pounds.
wow. 1950.
Didn't mean to hijack it.
No.
Uno de los primeros teléfonos celulares. Me dice que es este de 1950.
The early days.
¿Cómo ve? Wow, increíble, ¿verdad? Vean la antenita.
Glenn was telling me there's
Es cuando se usaban teléfonos celulares solamente para el gobierno.
cancer support.
Vea, qué curioso, 9 libras pesa aproximadamente, 4 kilos. Vea, para cargarlo. Qué pesado era, ¿verdad?
And that's what it is. As I came in, I saw the map headed towards going up that way.
Yeah, well, I decided I didn't want to.
Here's our old engine. This is right up the street on Stearns at the training center. Stearns and Argonne. This is a training center, and this was a graduation for new firefighters. And they had us come in with an old fire engine to pretend that we were putting out a fire.
Oh,
And then here come the new firefighters. They just graduated. And then they will come in with breathing apparatus.
and it is in Long Beach?
Yeah, right here, Stearns Avenue between Redondo and Lakewood.
Oh,
It's
okay.
right over in there. And this is the training center.
It's around right there by the army
Yeah,
camp.
by the Army and the post office, except the post office is gone. They're going to tear that down, all the post office buildings.
Oh,
It's going to be a new industrial park. Well, here you're standing, this was a fire station in 1925 from here on up. And the kitchen and the dormitory for the bedroom for the firefighters, and the day room in the front, and a big bathroom, and then the captain, the head person, has his own bed and his own office over there.
Okay.
So they built this as the repair shop for all the fire engines and all the chief's cars and all the ambulances for the Long Beach Fire Department. So if it looks, there's oil and there's things to trip over. If it looks like a repair shop, it is. And our people restore old apparatus, and they keep our fire engines running. We're in every parade. We're in the biggest one is the Christmas parade in Belmont Shore. That's the biggest parade. And then there's a Pride parade, and there's the Veterans parade, and Martin Luther King parade, and the Cambodian parade. So we have 6 fire engines in every parade.
Yeah, I remember. I see the trucks on the Second Street parade, the Christmas parade.
Yeah. We're in that. So we've taken out the water tanks and the hose, and this is where we take city council members, or the mayor, or the city attorney, or the fire chief. But everybody wants to ride on a fire engine. Is the air running on the steamer?
I don't know.
I don't remember which valve to.
There's air in it.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Good.
Is it worse?
Yes. Because this was the repair shop. We have the house compressed air. So this was a pumper. It was drawn to the fire by 2 horses. And so before this left the fire station, they built a fire in the firebox with kindling wood, and they would light the fire. So when they got to the fire, they would have somebody back here feeding coal in here to keep the fire going. So the water turned to steam, and the steam powered the pump. I'll show you this.
This is like carbon. This is like carbon. That's the black rocks. Is like carbon.
Coal. Yeah, carbon. And so this is a piston pumper, and this engine over here is also a piston pumper. Okay, so. So this dome here, we have fun with that. We ask, what do you think is in there? Well, Glenn likes to tell people it's filled with beer.
Beer?
No, it isn't. It's,
Water?
It's not water.
No?
It's air.
Air?
Because these pistons are going back and forth and back and forth. And you and Antonio and I would be standing at the nozzle, and the water would be coming out in spurts. So this way, the water gurgles up into that, and it evens it out, so you have a good stream of water. So you are the stoker, and you're supposed to keep that fire going, and you just run out of coal. You can't keep the fire going without coal. The coal wagon is 2 blocks down there. They didn't have cell phones. How are you going to get your coal? Pull down on that. It's an air whistle.
Isn't hard?
Seriously, it works. I won't do it. And you know, when we have children here, it hurts their ears. So we don't ever use, but you would get your coal. They would know you needed coal. So it was pulled to the fire by two big horses. Okay? And let's start over here. There was a video on as you came in showing this pumper. No. Here's the steamer. Here's the steamer working. And you can see the. Well, of course, then they cut away. But that's very similar to this. I like his hat. So that took a lot of work, and our people have restored this. Let me show you and I'll give you a quick tour, and then you can just wander and see what appeals to you. The oldest fire engines. This was playing when you came in. These two poles, one goes across here and the other on the other side, and you and Antonio are down at that end pulling down, and this goes up, and I then pull down on this side, and it's going a rocking motion back and forth. So this is a piston pump too, and it produces, it still works. It looks like a piece of junk, but it really produces a good stream of water. So this was just a pumper. It didn't carry ladders, it didn't carry hose. So the hose wagon is behind it. And then over there in the corner is a ladder truck. And all of this was drawn to the fire by us. The three of us had to drag this. And when we dragged it all across Long Beach, we were so exhausted, I don't know how we could fight the fire.
That one is when the city of Long Beach was funded.
Yes.
It was funded in 1888, around that.
I think I'll defer to your, I think you know it better than I do. Somewhere around there.
1888.
So these were
That one is 1901. So
these were hand drawn, and then we had the horse drawn, like the steamer, and then the steamer had to have a hose wagon, which is right behind the ambulance. And this is Ann. This is Ann in the ambulance. She's
right.
Resuscita Ann. It's to teach firefighters how to start you breathing again. So her mouth is she's made out of rubber and plastic, so you can get inside the mouth. So her name is Resuscita Ann. We thought she looks good here.
Yeah.
And this is just a hose wagon.
1894. Wow.
I'm glad we have signs on some of these. We need to redo some of the signs. But, and this ladder wagon, these are heavy wooden ladders.
Heavy
They're
letter.
very, very heavy. And so let's see. Let me show you a couple more things. This is a Model T Ford, and this was given to us recently, and our people restored it completely. It hasn't been in a parade yet. We need because we need somebody who knows how to drive these. I can't.
Oh, this manual.
Yeah, well, it's to start it. I don't know if they need
Manual
that.
for a start.
I don't know. I'm guessing they.
What's difficult is the transmission, because you change
Can you do it?
up here. I don't know exactly how to do it, but my friend's dad owns Model Ts and he drives them all the time and stuff.
So he doesn't necessarily need to crank it to get it started.
I think if you can modify them to not have to crank, but I believe you still need to crank them, yeah. Or he still cranks his. But that's not, I don't think that's the hard part.
But
The hard part is just
there's a spark,
yeah.
a spark and a something else. I don't understand it, so I couldn't drive this.
Yeah.
The
But-
hard part is how do you know the transmission?
Yeah, the
work
shifting
with the
of gears,
transmission?
'cause I believe this is where you shift the gears, are these two levers right here.
I
It's kind of
don't
a
know.
little fancy stuff.
And but it's a chemical engine. So these tanks are filled with water and bicarbonate of soda. And so there's a little bottle of acid up in here, and when you mix the acid with the water and the soda, it produces the power for the water to go out through the hose.
Oh,
So it's like the old fire extinguishers, the old soda acid fire extinguishers. You used to tip them upside down, and you tipped them upside down because that would mix the acid with the soda water, and that propelled the water out the nozzle. They don't use those anymore. So all of the machinery, you see all the machinery that's still here for when it was the fire department repair shop. So they left some of their machinery and they left a lot of parts. So that's good for us. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff to trip over. We're going to use this space. We have an old 1920s fire engine that they are going to restore from the frame up. Complete restoration, and that's what all of this is waiting for. The frame is down the way. So let me show you one more thing, and I'll turn you loose.
No.
Let me show you our biggest fire engine.
Wow.
This is from 1923, and you call this a tractor-drawn aerial truck. It's an aerial ladder. It's just like the ones they're using today, but an old version. So this is the tractor. So the driver is up here in the front seat. But it's so long that you have a tiller operator back there, just steering the rear wheels. And they had a buzzer system so that the tiller operator knew you're the driver. You need to communicate to the tiller operator. What are you going to turn left? Or are you going to turn right? Or are you going to stop? So they had a buzzer system with signals because no cell phones, and if you shouted you in traffic, you'd never hear each other. So they have the same things today. They're all enclosed. All of the tiller positions are enclosed, and the cab are enclosed, and also the firefighters ride inside the cab. Years ago, when this was in service, the firefighter would hang on to the side. Very dangerous, very, very dangerous. And this saw service in Long Beach, and then it was put in reserve, and then they sold it to the town of Visalia in Northern California. And the firefighters came down here to pick up their new truck. They came down here and they drove it back to Visalia. Nobody had measured it. It was too long. It was too long for the fire station. So they had to modify the fire station and do some modifications of the truck. So always measure. One last thing. These are, this whole property is fire department. That's fire station 10 over on that side. This building here, the second floor was the dispatching or the 911 office. So all of
What
that.
years? What years?
This building was built in 1960, and they moved up to their present location up at the airport, I'm guessing about the time, maybe even 20 years ago, a little less than 20 years. So this has been vacant, and we're using the upstairs for our storage. And the fire department storekeeper is here in a number of these other buildings. And at one time they had the training tower for training new firefighters over in the corner. So this is a big fire department complex.
Yeah, I know, it's too big.
So, then we have some other rigs on down this way. We need more space.
So you say there's another big truck usually is in front, it's outside right now?
It's at a function. They have I don't know what you call it. It's not a party. It's a.
They just shave heads, I think, in support of cancer.
And they do that there at the
Yeah,
event.
they have like an event.
Yeah,
I'm
for,
sure
regarding
raffles,
cancer.
fundraisers.
So they're yeah. So
I think that one is that usually I see it on the street, so.
Go.
I think that one is the usually I see it on the street.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because I have one video
Oh, you
of that
do?
one, and I saw on like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
it's-
usually is that one.
You know, the funny thing about those and that one, in order to have people ride on it in a parade, they took the water tank out. But it means, you know, when they've got a 300, 500 gallon water tank, you have a nice smooth ride on that. But without the water tank, it's not. You've ridden on the Mac before, Antonio, but it's a lot smoother when you have a heavy water tank.
Yeah, because the water tanks keep the truck smooth and
Yeah, yeah.
right the way.
One of the videos that will come up here, not this one. Now, there was a cat that wandered into a fire station in 1958 down in the harbor. The station is gone now. And one of the firefighters thought, wouldn't it be cute? It's a 2-story station, so they had a sliding pole. And one of the firefighters thought, wouldn't it be cute if we teach the cat how to slide the pole? And they did. And we have a video of it as part of this. There's a video. And they made a little golden book for children called Sam the Firehouse Cat. And we have one of those here.
Oh,
That's the book. And these are pictures of Sam. There's a picture of him sliding the pole. And I was in Amsterdam 2 years ago, and we found the same book printed in Dutch. So most of a lot of the little golden books are printed in Spanish, German, French, Italian, but this one is in Dutch. So, but it was a real cat, and it was right here in Long Beach.
oh, hey. His name
well,
is Sam. The
I'll show you one more thing. I keep saying I'll turn you loose, but
no,
let me
I like that. I like this.
let me show you this. This is a smoke mask. If there's a fire in this room, it's hard for the 3 of us to breathe, but the best air is right down at the bottom, at the floor level, if there's any good air at all. So the idea was as a firefighter, you wear that mask, and this is like an elephant's trunk, and it drags along the floor, picking up any good air for you to breathe. And this was invented not by a firefighter, but by an inventor who was African American. So we're very proud of this. And I want to show you this. This is called a speaking trumpet, and it's hollow. I mean, it's not a musical instrument. It's not a horn, and it's not a trumpet. It's not a bugle. It's the proper name. It's a speaking trumpet. Mm-hmm. And so your firefighters are over there, and you want them to put that ladder up over there, so you can. It's that's communication. And the reason I'm showing you this,
it's only to increase the voice.
Yeah. The reason I'm showing you is that all these badges, if you walk up to a firefighter and you can look at their badge, what Antonio is wearing here, this emblem we used to call a firefighter's scramble. It shows that you're a firefighter. Here's the speaking trumpet, and a helmet, and an axe, and a ladder. That's a firefighter's scramble. It shows that you are a firefighter. If you see one standing trumpet, you would be a lieutenant. We don't have lieutenants in Southern California. We have them back east. But if you have 2 standing trumpets, you're a captain. That means you're in charge of this fire station. If you have 2 cross trumpets, it's a battalion chief. That's the next one. And then 3 is assistant, 4 is deputy, and 5 is the El Jefe.
The chief.
It's the chief of the fire department. 5 crossed speaking trumpets. So when you go up to a firefighter, you can tell if your eyes are good. I have to get right on up. You can tell what rank they are, whether they're a firefighter or a captain or a battalion chief or so forth.
Okay.
Anyway, so
The maximum is 5 trumpets.
maximum is 5. There's nothing
No
bigger.
more. 5.
And you know, we have, I like when little girls come in, I like them to know that Long Beach has women firefighters. And there are about 4 major cities in the United States that have women fire chiefs. Minneapolis, San Francisco, I know a battalion chief in Delaware. And so, yes, good for them. So, you want to pick up what anything that that's my tour. That's about all, because I can go on, and I think that's Antonio. You can go on and on.
You covered it. You want to talk about this right here? With
I'll
this
let you.
pipe? So what this is
I'll be
these
right
used-
back.
Okay,
these
thank
used to
you.
be- before they had fire hydrants in the cities, these used to be underground wooden piping, and I don't know exactly how they were marked, but these were underground. So what the fire department would do is they would drill down into them and make a hole so they could get water out of them. And this is just an old segment of it. Now, of course, they have the fire hydrants connected to the water lines.
And they used this pine when? Before 19th?
I don't know exactly when they used this. And then, yeah, when they were done, they would put a plug in it. So that's sometimes why fire hydrants are called plugs, because they would just plug the hole after they made them.
Interesting. Everything.
Yeah.
That's the ruin of the captain.
Yeah, we can go over that.
This is right on, right here.
This would be the captain's office and sleeping quarters right in here.
Oh.
Bottoms up.
And then right over in here, there's some more of the medical equipment.
And are you training for a fireman?
Yeah, I'm in an Explore program, it's called.
Oh, okay.
And doing that, yeah.
Here I go.
Kind of got to go at an angle.
I want to bring my grandkid to
Oh,
see
cool,
this,
yeah.
but he's 4 years old. But
Yeah.
I think he like it.
But right over there, right where they're working, those are what are commonly called the jaws of life. Those are specifically the spreaders. So if somebody is trapped in a vehicle or something, they'll use them to spread it open. On the other side of that generator, there are the cutters.
Oh,
They used to cut posts and stuff when they're extricating people out of vehicles.
And you have a big collection of
Yeah, those are all the
toys.
model and toy fire engines over there. You can go over there and look at them.
Oops.
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
Excuse me.
On the old stuff,
Yeah, it is.
it works.
And you saw all the toys.
There's a couple of
That's
Long
nice.
Beach specific ones in here, like you can see
Oh,
the Long Beach
yes.
logo. That's
Yes.
that one, a ladder truck, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's the rescue right up here. That would be a
Oh,
paramedic
oh.
rescue ambulance right there.
And you see this blue one?
Mm-hmm.
It's called a transformer. So a child can take that and make it into a robot or a fire engine or I don't know what.
A couple of these right here, I know these three are made by model train companies. So those are meant, usually people who have model railroads would use those in their scenes and stuff. And these are Code 3, that's a brand that makes some of those. And then Chan, you said these ones are custom built? These ones right here, correct?
Yeah, they were kits that you could buy. I had one when I was young, but I'm not a model builder. And they were made by a man. So here's the steamer that you saw. And
I saw this one.
the
too,
ladder,
the ladder.
with the tiller, and here's a hose wagon, and then just a ladder truck, and a hose reel, and there's another like the one that we have in the back. That's a hose wagon, and a chemical engine. And another chemical engine. So those are nice. A Long Beach firefighter built those, and some of these are. This is from England, and Antonio, have you gotten onto these? You see this one here. This is It's a Hallmark. Well, look who's here. Good
I see you're
morning.
moving my truck closer to Costa Mesa.
Hi, Daryl.
How are you doing?
Glad you're here. This is this would be $25 for my tour.
Yeah.
Alfonso, this is Daryl.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah, right. This is a Hallmark Christmas tree ornament. And every year, Hallmark makes a new Christmas tree ornament. You ought to get your mother to, every year, you want one of those. Every year, they make a new Christmas tree ornament.